what are the findings are there. So you will understand that reaching to conclusion and signing is not easy. It's not easy. We can sitting here can say what failed, what went right, but ending up putting those dots right after the signature is the most difficult part. And both party, from their point of view, they are right. Tell me which person who has spoken today, you can say, no, no, he's completely out the space. You might be feeling it, but according to his place or her place, he's right. So COP30 was another success or failure you can't judge, but at least there are some documents signed and there are some obvious failures which we have to learn from. Okay, so COP30 legacy today has come to stakes. And why I'm saying that? Because COP has a history of complex mix of environmental urgency and geopolitical interest, right? Every time, whichever country hosts, they have a different kind of interest. For example, in Dubai, when it was hosted, they wanted to derail the fossil fuel inclusion because coal was agreed, methane was agreed in Stockholm, and Sarmal Sheikh, there was a huge debate on the same that we should bring the fossil fuel to be put that there has to be end of fossil fuel, not only coal, not only diesel, but as a fossil fuel. So fossil fuel was mentioned, and people wanted to end it. Never happened. So framework like Paris Agreement, which enabled global coordination but remained fragile due to national and economic self-interest. For example, we saw people who were representing US, they have their own national interest, right? They don't want to throw money to somebody else and lose the election. Please understand, they will lose election. Every party has only 51 or 49% vote, right? In America, there is nobody leading by 70% of the vote. So if you are making too many people angry about certain topics, certain discussion, specifically when you are paying money to somebody else, okay? This generation cannot remember what has happened in 1911, right? They are not those billionaires. So they say, why my money should go to somebody else? They are the taxpayer. And India is saying, boss, because of you, emergency I am facing. My house I am building with all my savings, and suddenly one day it's gone. That pain, can you understand? And loan is on his head. Loan will not be waived off. They will give you extension. Just imagine that situation of a person who is sitting in Chennai and his house is flooded and he has taken a loan. Loan is not going anywhere. They will give an extension for 1 year moratorium and still they will charge interest rate. Maybe government will interject and say that, okay, 6 month, give him waiver. That's the situation, an emergency fund or adoption fund people are asking. So both sides are always right, right? So be it global South, the terminology which reflects the strategic unity now, they have understood the point that if we are united as a global South, we might be able to get better results. And today in COP30, those things has been seen. We will be going quickly through that discussion, specifically on technology transfer and pricing, which has been achieved. Now, COP30 achievement and failures are quite evident now, and it is a global climate diplomacy which happens through the any conference of party, and the breakthrough which are concerning setbacks are also there. So there are certain breakthrough and there are certain concerns. So let's look into those achievement or breakthrough which has happened in COP30. First one is enhanced climate finance now. Actually, the number has tripled from last time to this time. That's the biggest achievement. So, historic agreements securing $150 billion annually by 2030 represents, or 2035 represents, or representing a largest climate finance commitment to date. I told you a story about what US has committed in COP29. So at least this number looks like reasonable. People are committing. There is who will give fund is still not decided. Who will bring this money? No developed country is agreeing. But they said, I am agreeing, and they signed the paper that 150 billion is a good amount. For them, it is good. For global South, they are still demanding 1.3 to 1.6 trillion dollar, 10 times of this. Okay, remember that now. But it is tripled. That's why it is an achievement because it's one of the highest. And here, developing nation will put this money for transition purposes. Again, not adoption. So the party which were fighting on adoption, they are not getting it. It is for transition. So any energy transition happens, any people who gets unemployed because of this transition, like electrician. who is working on a grid, he will be unemployed, right? Because now there is a DC current, there is a solar grid current, maybe e-fuel, which has been talked and agreed in this particular event, COP30, has brought a new word called e-fuel. Earlier, fossil fuel, biofuel, biogas. There are three terminology. How many of you remember three terminology? Always remember, let me see if I can type in here. Always remember this chart, okay? So biofuel is the bigger circle. My handwriting is really bad on this. Okay. Biofuel is bigger circle. Biofuel means what? Any vegetative fuel which you can convert waste into electricity. Any waste oil also which you can convert into
Like
some kind of biogas.
methane, and
Biogas
all.
is this part. Always remember.
Yes.
Biogas is a small part. Clear? Earlier, you used to have cow dung gas. You remember? In our old age, when the lights were not there in villages, you had this cow gas which used to convert into thermex lamps, right? And that used to be put in villages. So that's the smaller circle. And then now they have introduced e-fuel. Now, what is e-fuel? E-fuel is anything which is made out of hydrolysis, basically hydrogen gas. So if you know, if you have water, H2O, you can break this water in a cleaner situation. So if you do 2H2O and you break it, you can have two oxygen units and two hydrogen units. Clear? That's how you break it. And that is called electrolysis process of breaking of water. And that's why it is the most cleanest one. And this year it has been introduced. Second breakthrough was methane reduction breakthrough. Here, US and EU, even though Trump has not represented, but European Union coalition leads to ambitious 30% methane cut target by 2035. So Stockholm में जो agree हुआ था methane pledge, now they have put through a agreement. Clear? So that's the biggest another achievement here. And this is one of the most potent greenhouse gases. Everybody agreed. Next one is loss and damage framework. Loss and damage framework has which has agreed in Sharm el Sheikh and even in Dubai. They created a fund and put some money as well. The first ever global compensation mechanism is established now. So money will be there, which developed country will pull in and put it there. But how to deploy it need to be agreed, right? So first they were discussing that only those African countries which are underdeveloped, they will get this fund. So they don't have anything to recover from such kind of disaster. So we'll give them. This year, they made it little larger. So that is another achievement, that loss and damage fund framework has been brought in. That any country which will suffer with such kind of scenario, a specific scenario, they have set that they will get the money for climate disaster. That's the advantage, right? So now we can go and claim money rather than waiting for grants, right? No need of asking money now. There is a money for everyone who is suffering. They can go and take that money and reconstruct their whatever disaster has happened in that city or country. Clear? So last achievement is renewable energy expansion. Now 80% of the signatory has committed 50% renewable energy. India is the leader here. Okay, as you last time also we discussed, they have achieved all their targets. So by 2040, 80% of the signatory has agreed that they will also achieve 50% of their grid to be shifted to renewable energy. That's a good direction and moving out from the fossil fuel. Now, key
Sir,
failures we should not. Yeah,
this
please.
loss and damage framework, no? What is the corpus amount that they have?
Corpus amount is still 100 billion they are asking, but the deposit there is very small, not even in tens of billions. Very small number is yet been accumulated. But every year they should have 100 billion by 2030 to 2035.
And sir, if I have to see the difference between enhanced climate finance and loss and damage, it is basically loss and damage is for physical risk and climate finance is for transition risk, like that.
Climate finance, of course, is a broader term. You're right. That is a broader term. So enhancing which has happened in the climate finance, it is little broader than the loss and damage. Loss and damage is only limited to climate disasters. And that is
Physical
for, as you
risk,
said,
what
energy.
we define as physical risk. Can we
Physical
say
risk, absolutely. And that is transitional risk.
that is right?
Absolutely correct. but now you are bringing too much of terminology, so we have
No,
to
I'm
cover
just
that
trying.
as well. We will cover that transition and physical risk when we will go in that direction. Okay, now key failure or criticism at COP30 is coal phase out delay. Nobody agreed. Okay. So obviously there are reasons towards it. Net zero timeline gaps. Even India, this year was a stock take year. So when we will go into nationally determined contribution, we will be talking about a stock take. Okay. This graph, if you see, this graph is a stock take. So 2025 was communication of everybody's stock tech. Okay? How much improvement they have done, what is from their baseline, what is the new numbers of carbon dioxide, right? So that year was this year. India didn't present it paper. This year, actually, out of 135 or 132 countries which has committed to net zero, they have not even 53 of them has shown their results. Are you with me? Everyone, are you getting this idea? That not even 50% of those,
Only
30% actually.
25. Only
53 or
25
50.
nations.
Sorry?
20. Only 25 nations.
25. That's the number. So that's another disaster. Nobody is even talking about. I believe it was 53 country they said. How many you are saying? 25, huh?
25.
That's the
Means
disaster.
they have presented their
Papers.
NDCs
Yeah, out of
paper there.
53 who were supposed to show, I think 25. That's how the numbers are. Clear. Now, underfunded loss and damage, which I just told to Chetana, right? That number is big, but nobody is ready to fund that. So there is a huge gap. So now they have a framework where to give money, but who will give money if there is no money? One disaster, you have to pay billions of dollars, right? One tsunami requires $2 billion of reconstruction. Last but not least, marginalized indigenous voice. And this was the major disaster because it was happening in Brazil. Those guys who are on road, indigenous people who are suffering, right? You are cutting the Amazon and creating these events, showcasing the world that please notice Amazon, right? In Belém you did, and you are still not hearing their voice. That was another disaster people have taken into consideration. Clear? Now, uh, so impact of global climate goal, the current reality check is this. The temperature gap is still much larger than 1.5 degrees centigrade. If we keep on continuing, there is a little bit of dent, but that dent is not enough. Dent means last year data, whatever we collected, we came to know that if we keep on working on these lines, we can stop the climate change temperature rise by 2.7 degrees centigrade. But that is still is higher than 1.5 and 2 degree limit, right? 2 degree centigrade limit, Celsius limit. So warming by 2021, we are still reaching to this number. That is significantly higher than critical number of 1.5. And implementation delays are the major problem. And that's why India has not presented. So including the Arctic ice loss, that tipping point. Did you guys do that homework? Everybody did that? Abdul Amjad, did you check? Because I didn't check everybody. You are on mute.
Actually, that group was,
Actually, you were
Sandeep.
not there in the group.
I was
Okay,
not in
okay.
the group. Sandeep sent me at around 7 o'clock. So
Achha,
from
today
today
only.
now onwards, I will follow
Okay,
up.
okay.
Yes.
Fair, fair, fair.
Yes.
So who didn't do the job? Who didn't prepare that tipping point homework? कौन नहीं किया है? अच्छा, चेतना ही नहीं किया. ओ, क्या हो गया चेतना? What did you do? Ganesh ji, did you do? Tejas,
Actually,
Vishesh.
Sharath had done, so I just saw his.
Okay, okay, fair. So please do that. Now, as you can see, 2.7 degree, 30% and 100 billion. These are the three targets which are looks like current situation. Coral reef, Amazon rainforest dieback and Arctic ice loss remains a critical tipping point. Okay, we need to address that. Now, road ahead is very simple. You have to strengthen the enforcement. Transparent monitoring system is there, and that's why one monitoring system named as something Murat, some regional name is there which they have created now. So Brazil has introduced a digital framework, Murato or something like that. I can't pronounce the name, but they have introduced a digital system which can give you the live record that who is doing what is their progress toward net zero. Somebody can find that. What is the digital platform name? Murato or Murio, something. It's a regional name, and it has a meaning which exactly
Which
shows that.
country? Which country following this?
Sorry, come again.
You said which country following this digital?
Brazil has introduced. Brazil
Brazil.
has created this digital platform for monitoring with transparency how countries are making progress towards net zero. So everything will be live now. So there is a digital dashboard. So you can go there and just check that which country has reported what and what is the outcome. It's called Murato or something. If somebody can find it, will be easier for me. Now, then mobilize the private finance, which is close to 100 billion climate finance gap, and that has to be filled up. Now
It
they
is
have calculated the
Maloka.
loss and damage.
MALOCA, Maloka.
Maluka,
Yes, yes.
Maluka, okay. Now what it means something exactly same. There's a light
It's
down.
like a metaverse platform, global digital platform.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Open the doors of COP30. It's a legacy platform to cut travel emissions. Uh, like this, they are writing. Maloka is a Brazil's digital COP. That
Just give me a minute. I think there was some other Murato,
then
Murashio.
Muti Rao. Then it is
Mutirao
Muti
is
Rao.
right.
Muti Rao.
Mutirao.
Sorry.
What is Mutirao?
It's a digital platform that collects and showcases local and global climate initiative from
Mutirao is the
communities, cities, companies, NGOs, etc.
Yeah, Mutirao. There is
And the
a
mean,
hyphen on A and O as well. That's
yes. Hyphen on A, yes. Mhm.
तो नासा ये मुटिरा और मालोको दोनों ब्राजील का ही प्लेटफॉर्म है डिजिटल।
हाँ, दोनों ब्राजील का अपना वाला वो मलोका है और ये मुटीराव
Mutirao
फॉर
global है.
across the country
Mutirao is
global है.
global.
ओके।
Yes,
I don't know how they pronounce A with a top
yes.
tilde, right? Tilde is a computer function which they put. So there is a something like Turkey. Turkey also has that
तो
kind of word.
तुर्किया में भी रहता है.
Yeah. So that is the strengthening the enforcement. That's how they are saying that they can enforce the regulations. Mobilizing of private finance is important now. We need private finance. Chetana, a lot of jobs will come in that area. Okay, green financing area, private ones. Elevate vulnerable community. We have to look into those indigenous community, and that's why tomorrow I will send you the link of that video. Please watch it. We are talking about Tulao Island, how people are suffering unnecessarily. Then comes the accelerate innovation. And these are the community which has no idea. They don't understand science. They don't understand these sirens. In India also there is in Andaman Nicobar Island, there is a indigenous people who still, if you go there, they will kill you. They
Java
just
tribe.
see you. Sorry?
Java tribe.
Java tribe. They will kill you. They don't even consider you as a human being. They think that you are an alien and you need to be killed. So,
This
and
was
however,
when I went to Andaman.
actually, you have seen them. You
I
got
went.
a chance.
Yes,
Lucky,
yes.
lucky you are. Yeah, at least we need to know that these kind of indigenous people still exist, and we need to respect those boundaries. Last but least is accelerating the innovation. So everything is in the hand of people like Prasanna and all who can do some innovation and bring something which save us all, right? In IT, innovation only saved us that till the time we are existing, and same thing will go in sustainability, right? With that, I'm going to end the session today. I don't want to. I want to cover the NDC so that tomorrow we can start with a new module. But how many of you are okay if I take another 10 minutes? Okay, so Namita is fine. Ganesh, Chetna. Okay, Chetna is fine. Anybody has any problem? Okay, so everybody is okay. So let me take the NDCs and nationally determined contribution, right? It comes from a background. NDC is got introduced first time in 2015, okay, for a specific purpose. What was that purpose? To work on this carbon market. So the carbon market, which is a module for the last session we have in third session when we'll be covering, you have to understand that Paris Agreement has put a foot around this, the role of carbon market. So everything in carbon market comes from one article, article number 6 of Paris Agreement 2015 or COP21. Basically, it's nothing but a mechanism. And again, tomorrow we will have a debate on this topic as well, right? Or we'll not have a debate tomorrow, maybe next week. We'll have this debate that whether it is good or bad for our society, right? So today, people were global south, or sorry, global north was pushing that carbon credit karte, but a lot of many people think carbon credit is just a hoax. It's a kind of, it's giving a license to people, license to kill thousands of more people. So that is the debate we will be addressing when we will have an understanding of it. And it is coming from Paris Agreement. As you know, Paris Agreement is one of those milestones which we can't forget in the discussion of sustainability. Why? Because following four advantages of Paris Agreement implementation. First of all, COP28 in global stock, when it happened, we realized that Paris Agreement is whatever we have committed there is not going into right transition path, right? So long-term strategy, people said that has to be there in place. Paris rule book was finalized in COP26 only, which was another 4 years ago from now. So global stock take is one of those events which are critical part of Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement doesn't only tell you that you should have net zero, everybody should follow a net zero, but it also asks you that can you be transparent in following this? And I am giving you a flexibility that you can decide whatever path you want to choose. This is the beauty of Paris Agreement. Why 187, 89 countries initially agreed and later on 196, all of them agreed and signed the paper, the dotted line there. The reason was they have been given a flexibility. And the flexibility was very simple that everybody has to go for net zero, but they can take their own targets, dates, years, and they can follow their own pathway based on wherever they are sitting in this cycle of being developed or not developing. And this gave the middle path, and people signed. Both side came together and signed it. Otherwise, you have seen, right? Nobody was agreeing to your point. He had some defensive point against you. This was a normal. It happens every year, right? And then night, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock, they signed such kind of document after so much of debate. So global stock take is one of those targets which brings the transparency on the progress. नहीं तो होगा क्या? Now India has said 2070 will be net zero. So I will control my emissions. I will not emit anything new by 2070. Now what will happen? Each country has its own way of saying it. So some country will not do anything for till 2045, till the time I am Trump and I am leading my country. Why I should tell you what I am doing? I'm dictator anyway. So I will never tell you. Now problem will be world will be thinking America is doing something and he is not doing anything. Directly in 2040 he will come and say that okay, I am cancelling everything. I don't agree on any international agreements. Right? Or somebody will be elected at that point in time and he will be same. He will say the same thing. I don't agree anything. I will not control my emissions. Whole world will be feeling cheated, right? You will feel cheated that he was saying that he is doing it, he didn't do. And that's why global stock take was brought in. That, okay, don't report to me every year. Every year you come to meeting in conference of party, but every 2 year after 5 year, you have to show your stock take. And that was this graph, right, which I was talking about. That everything got agreed and got implemented in 2018, right? 2018, we have agreed. 2015, the agreement was pushed. 16, all the parties signed, right? It became an act. It became a agreement. And then, there are steps to go. So 2019 was Secretary General Climate Summit happened on the same topic that everybody has signed. Now everybody is putting a targets and we have to have all country putting their targets. But you know the fact now, 132 or 135 country only has committed to net zero. Not all of them has yet committed to net zero. So everybody has to first commit to net zero. Then they have to show how they are progressing on that part. So paths showing will start only after 2020, which is communication here. And you have to also tell that what is your every year target you are setting. So 2040 could be your 2050 could be your ideal targets, net zero targets. This is recommended by Paris Agreement that people should keep a target around 2050. But as you know, everybody has chosen their own path. And they have their own path as well to reach. Okay. So somebody can say that no, next 5 year, I will keep on increasing my emission because I'm in that phase. After sixth year, I will reduce little. And then after 10th year, I will reduce so much. You can choose your own pathway, and those pathways are called glide path to net zero. And you will see this graph all the time. What is this graph? This graph shows that what is your historical emission. And even in carbon accounting, you can use this graph. So when you do your own accounting, you are setting your net zero targets, which we will be learning. You can take this pathway. What are these pathway? That if I am not controlling my emissions, what will be my trajectory? So if I am not controlling my trajectory, given my past that I am growing at this scale, right, accelerating scale, it will go like this, right? Now, this year I have committed, this particular year, I have committed that I want to achieve 1.5 degree pathway. If I commit to this, then only path possible is this, right? You have to bring everything down. You can't follow this path any longer. Again, what is this line showing? Line showing that every year how much emission I'm doing and what will be my temperature. You can see here this number. Can anybody read this? Greenhouse gas emission is written here. So how much these are in tons, okay? These are in tons of billions of tons of carbon dioxide. So if world, what is the current level? Anybody has an idea? What is the current level of total emission, world emission? It's 58 billion tons of, sorry, my spelling, my handwriting is really bad on this. Mouse से नहीं होता है, वो लेना पड़ेगा पेन. So billion tons of greenhouse gases world is emitting today. How much? 58 बिलियन टन्स. और जो बजट है आपके पास कितना आप इमिट कर सकते हो इज हार्डली 200 बिलियन टन्स. That is the budget left right now. We have already consumed enough of oxygens and converted into their carbons. So how much budget we have? If you keep doing this without any sinks are what? This is carbon emission, right? And there is a carbon sink which observes your carbon. Which are those sinks? We discussed in the last lecture, right? Anybody who remember? What are the carbon sinks where the carbon gets observed?
Trees, oceans.
Absolutely. Algae, ocean, and entropic processes, trees. So all that soaks this carbon. And if I want to reach 1.5 degree, another statistic should go in your notes. We need to maintain this not 58. If we want to go to next 10 years or up to 2100, if you want to maintain 1.5 degree, you cannot emit 1.5 degrees centigrade. You cannot emit more than 33. 33 billion ton is the target. How much I am emitting? Double of this number, nearly 80% higher than what we should be emitting to meet 1.5 degree. So you need to plot this graph whenever you will create. You will create for your own company. So you might have, 50 tons or 500 tons or maybe 5 million tons of emission your company might be doing, right? So your number can be 500 million on your baseline year. So you will do your carbon accounting. You will add all the numbers. You will get a number. How much ton? Say 50 tons of carbon dioxide you are emitting every day as an individual. Now you have to reduce it to net zero, right? Net zero means what? 50 ton will go to 2 or 5 tons, the bare minimum, which we cannot reduce, unavoidable emissions. You have to reduce how much? 45 tons. To reduce that 45 ton, every year you have to make some progress, right? And that's these lines are showing. So 1.5 degree line is very low, much steeper down. 2 degree line is little steeper. And then NDC lines are there. You see NDC lines? These are red zones, which is probable numbers, which you commit to the world that, look, I can't immediately start following 1.5. Why? Because every year business as usual will work, right? Every business is growing. Do you think any business does a business to reduce their business? So if business is growing, they will need more energy. They will emit more greenhouse gases. Are you getting very important concept I am doing now? Okay, give me 2 minutes. This is very important concept. What is that concept? Business as usual case. What is business as usual case? That no company works for closing down their business. हम लोग वैल्यूएशन करते हैं तो लोग बोलते हैं कि बैंकरप्ट कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन कर दो। अरे कैसे करोगे? बैंकरप्ट कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन मतलब साल्वेज वैल्यू ही कर सकते हो। कौन करता है काम ऐसे के लिए कि बंद करना है? तो एवरीबडी इज डूइंग बिजनेस टू ग्रो 5%, 2%, 10%, 20%, 100% बेस्ड ऑन विच इंडस्ट्री दे आर। So that means economy will grow. So if economy is growing, can you reduce your carbon emission? Absolutely not immediately. Hence, these red brackets are. There is a range given that I am trying to reduce it, but there are chances might not be even reach 2 degree. And we know that world will reach 2.7 minimum. Minimum they will reach is 2.7 degree. Clear? Now that graph is too messy now, so we are moving ahead. This concept is clear now, everyone. Now, NDC, once it is clear that NDC gives more flexibility than your targets. Target could be that I want to reach 2050 net zero. But possibility is first 5 year, I might not be able to do anything about my carbon emission. But after that, I will buy carbon capturing unit. I will start buying from the market because I have money. I can go and buy like Americans were saying, right? See how they started. That's the beauty of debates. How they started, they say that I will do favor to you. What is that favor? I will buy something from you. Arey boss, that guy has to invest to sell you even. Right now the middleman makes so much money that they are the next billionaire in the roots. Next $1 billion businesses are going to come from where? The carbon credit exchanges, not bitcoins. Okay, remember this word. You will see it in 2 to 3 years. Why? Because they are going to purchase from you at $2. Last to last year, our farmer was selling at $2, $2 per ton. And Varaha has sold to this guy, Google. What is the rate they have sold carbon credit for?
Google, they have sold to Google.
How much? What is the rate? Rate is interesting. Tell me what is the rate they are selling for?
Sir, I don't remember the rate they are selling from, but I know the story.
$100, Vishesh. $100.
Yes,
Of
sir.
course, they are
Yes.
doing some process on it. It's not that they are buying that credit and selling. They are processing that credit. They are putting through the blockchain technology. So there is an investment. But do you think the investment would be more than $10? अब लोग अवेयर भी हो गए हैं तो बायोचार बेचने के पहले पैसे वो भी मांग रहे हैं वरहा से. इफ इट इज वरहा, पीपल फार्मर्स आर नॉट इडियट्स, राइट? दे विल इंक्रीज. सो $10, $15, $20 प्लस $10, $30. हाउ मच ही इज सेलिंग फॉर? एंड नेक्स्ट 5 ईयर का कमिटमेंट है गूगल से. $100. सी द ब्यूटी ऑफ बिजनेस. वो बिजनेस कभी लॉस में आएगा क्या? वो बिजनेस ही बिलियनर बनेगा ना. That is why I'm saying watch out for few companies coming out of this area as well, carbon credit area, right? And there a lot of jobs
And
will
the
come.
CEO of the company is our alumni,
Acha,
Mr.
okay.
Madhur Jain.
Acha, he's your alumni. That's very good.
Yes, sir.
So then make good money there then. He says,
Yeah.
पकड़ो उसको कि मैं आपका बिजनेस समझ गया, अब क्या बना रहा है,
Many
उल्लू बना रहा है
companies.
सबको. But my point is
Yeah.
this, that NDC and carbon credit are the two factors which looks that everybody can play that game, but it's a difficult game. But money will be made, huge money will be made. Okay, so as farmers are increasing the price, automatically they will go and sell in international market more. Artisanal credit are the costliest credit, carbon credit of till date, right? Now, so NDC you have understood. Now NDC is nationally determined contribution. For example, India can take its own pathway to net zero, and they can decide they can immediately go for 1.5 degree, or they will go little laxed. Day before yesterday, there was an event happening by IVCA, International Valuation Association Council. And there, Anant, I think he is a Niti Aayog chairman right now. Mr. Anant has given a statement that we want to follow everything, but we will not follow it at the cost of economy, which says that our NDC will be more relaxed. Okay. And he was talking about green finance. So he has already said that's why we didn't present it our paper. So next year, of course, we have to do it. We can't delay it. Okay. We can delay it, but we can't cancel it. If a stock take year has hit me, I have to present my paper. Maybe a little late, but I have to do it. So NDC has these following 10 activity happening. Nationally determined contribution has following 10 parts, moving parts. And this is the cornerstone of Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement success is because of this. That's why we need to know. And we also need to know in order to put net zero targets for individuals, company, and governments. Clear? Each country develops its own climate action plan based on its capability, outlining how it will reduce emissions and adopt the climate change. It is their decision. It's a sovereign country, right? So we can make that decision. And this agreement empowers us to do it. NDC is that word which empowers us to do it. NDCs are updated every 5 years. So every 5 years, you can go and change it. You cannot change it in 2 years' time. A stock take happen every 2 years. Every 5 years, I can go and change. So whatever I decide now, I can go after 5 years and change it because there will be direction, right? That whether I'm doing right or wrong. So with country expected to increase their ambition, actually expectation is that you will further reduce your emission by bringing new NDC. But sometime, and what I'm seeing, it will go against us. So we might be taking little relaxed ones for next couple of years. And this flexible approach actually accommodates national circumstances while pushing the collective progress towards global goal. How the goals are achieved? First is mitigation targets. First is mitigation target. Second is engagement of all stakeholder. Third is you here focus is maximize the impact, not make people out of job or kill the economy. That's not the purpose. That is why NDC is little beneficial to countries. Third is ASI. Now ASI is very simple. Either you avoid or you shift your carbon emissions. First, you should try to avoid. Second, you should try to shift. And third is improve. If you can't do anything, then improve. Clear? That's the ASI mechanism NDC provides. And it is actually feel like to-do list, right? Every morning you wake up, you make your to-do list. Country makes this to-do list every 5 years. Clear? So that is why it requires finance, it requires investment. You cannot just plan everything in imagination. It requires a cost, right? There is a success company which case study you will be doing, and that case study is of Costa Rica. Costa Rica in 2021, they put a NDC pledge and they also put a net zero target of 2050. And you won't believe they have achieved lot many more things than what they have put there. For example, because of this, the reforestation of that country and their tourism has increased by 60%. That 60% of their land is now forest again, right? So you might be putting ambitious target, but you have to root it to your reality too. The sixth tool is planning and tools like these ones, that what is your target and how will you achieve. Seventh one is, of course, adoption. Like somebody was talking about adoption funds and mitigation has to come together in NDC. And these are the three areas which are mostly in focus and people want you to put reports on. What are those three areas? First is, of course, electrification. We said it is largest contributor is what? Energy. So you have to report on that. Freight, which is logistic, you have to report on that. And last is air, aviation, and marine. These are the three critical area every country has to adopt. Now, if you look into climate finance, which Julka was talking about, she was talking about climate finance, right? So this is the funding scenario currently, $51 billion, and this is little old. MDBs are multi-development banks, multilateral development banks, right? So under the Paris Agreement, of course, they have also been encouraged to create green bonds, to deploy those green bonds in the respective countries. Growth is really not as per our requirement. Current situation is really bad. Target is 100 billion, and now it is 150 billion only in loss and damage, right? So numbers are increasing, uh, and these numbers are required for mitigation and adoption both. You cannot choose one. You need both. Okay, so that also you should remember going forward. And most focus here is vulnerable country right now. And that is why COP30 is very important, where there is a framework is getting set. Clear? How you assess the climate risk and impact? First, you do a vulnerability assessment of those situations, right? That which country, which location is more susceptible to which kind of disaster. So some of them are tsunami impacted, some of them are erosion of the land. Odisha, massive issue. There is a case study, of course, we will discuss some point in time that 1 kilometer land is gone inside, right? So that is another issue which is happening. Risk analysis you need to do, then you have to put scenario analysis to understand. And here a word used is National Adoption Plan, NAP. Why it is important? Because once I will send you a blog, we are talking about Indian energy system and different law in the area. One of the law comes from this National Adoption Plan. So CEA or CCTS, if you must have heard, is coming from National Adoption Plan. Last but not least, you have to do monitoring and evaluation continuously. Clear? Now challenges are there. There is nothing without challenge. So challenges of future of Paris Agreement remain in this red area, that we are still, if we do not control, this is not far away, the temperature rising to 3.5 degrees centigrade as well. And there is a very good analysis has been done by IPCC. Read that. How many find out that IPCC 2022 report? I saw everyone did first exercise diligently. That I saw. Everybody found out IPCC AR6 data. Okay. And always go to the source. Remember why I have sent to the source? Because again, AR7 will come. AR7 will come only on that source first. And then everybody will copy and modify and place it. So always remember the source. That will be helpful. With that, we have come to the end of the session. Now I can let you go, guys. Sorry, I am taking a little extra time, but I think it is required. Otherwise, I will lose momentum and you will lose the learning here. Clear? We'll see you tomorrow, and we will start with another module, which will be now
Yeah.
Introduction to GHG Accounting. So we are starting from tomorrow,
Yeah.
Fundamentals of GHG
Yeah.
Accounting.
Yeah.
And case study will come from both sides. So this is government side, and now we are going to private side. Yeah, sorry, somebody was saying something.
Yeah, these slides are now available in our this one link you have provided, LML. So,
LMS, you will always get the recording. We do not share the slides. We
okay,
always send the
okay,
recording. You can stop the recording and take a screenshot all the time. Possible.
okay, okay.
This one will go by morning. Generally, it goes by morning because team member is not there to upload it. But I will ask him this one. I will get it done by tonight itself. No worries. Okay, so you can revise it. Any other question? See, nobody has left the class. That's the beauty of the class. Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Good night and sabak khair.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank
right.
you.
Bye bye. See you. Thank you.